All right, so we're back with Lauren. Now, I don't know if it's going to show this because we're just going to continue our conversation, but
Yeah.
Lauren and I work with addicts and we associate with addicts and we love them.
Hmm.
Um, but in the middle of our conversation last week, I got a phone call from someone struggling with an addiction who was kind of in a state of crisis. And so I was lucky I was talking to Lauren because she, of all people, understands. And um, so I had to take that phone call. So we're going to continue in on our conversation and get back to helping Lauren figure out her business, her life, how to scale up, and how to get what she wants. Um, so, Lauren, welcome back.
Thank you.
Um, if I remember right, we were just to the place where we were kind of taking a look at what you really want, like what you
Mhm.
desire in your life, what do you want to create, and then asking the question, are you doing the things now to actually set yourself up to
Mhm.
create that life that you want, correct?
Yep.
Yep. And and I can be blunt with Lauren because I have some rapport and stuff. but just like one thing I think that we were coming up against, and tell me if I'm wrong, Lauren, was somewhat of a confusion about like where life's really gonna be in 5 years and what you want it to be in 5 years. I think you have an idea
Mhm.
of what you want to create and what your goals are and where you want to end up. Um,
Yep.
but it's a little unclear to me still, just a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, so maybe let's start back with that. So when we talk about 5, 10 years from now,
Mhm.
you're at an interesting place in your life right now, right?
Mhm.
Where a lot of things could happen.
Yep.
Um, and so who knows what career is going to be like, what family life's going to be like.
Mhm.
Um, when you look forward 5 years from now, what do you see life like? Like what? Where are you living? Do you have kids?
Mhm.
Are you working very much? Are you not?
Mhm. No, it's a good question, and I feel like I could give five different answers based off of if I answer question one. Like for those of you that don't know me very much, I'm originally from the East Coast, and I moved to Utah around 4 years ago. Started working with Brannon and stuff like that, and so I've always had this plan of moving back to the East Coast, but me and my husband have always talked about, well, if he gets a good job offer out here where it makes sense to stay, then we'd stay and just kind of prolong our timeline. So
So
when
it's
I
kind of
think
hard
about
to know, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
it's hard to know. It's hard to know like where I'm going to be grounded and where I want to be rooted. And so like, where am I going to end up? Okay, so plan A is if I'm ended up on the East Coast in 5 years from now, hopefully maybe I have like one or two kids. Um, that's the goal at least. I have a nice house. I'm close to my family. Maybe I'm working at a hospital. Maybe I still have my private practice. Maybe I'm still working in addiction. Maybe I
This
have
is
a
a lot of
podcast.
maybes. This is a lot of
Right.
maybes.
It's a
Okay.
lot of babies.
It's it's hard to start to create with
Yeah.
so many maybes. And I'm not saying that you have to know the future by any
Yeah.
means.
Hmm.
Um however, it's kind of like my 17-year-old daughter, she's just starting college and it's like, well, hey, Sandy, what are you going to do with your life? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to college. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it is, that's fine. She still needs to do her generals and like figure life out a little bit.
Mhm.
But as soon as she can, it is really good to have the end in mind
Yeah.
because you start to work, your vision of what you see starts to inform the decisions that you're making now. Um, and so your maybes are fine. We can't predict life, whether you have one or two kids or none or who knows, right? Um, and you're at a state of life where there's a possibility of a lot of change, right,
Right.
Lauren?
Hmm.
Um, so I think we're asking almost the wrong question. It's not so much like what exactly do you want your life to be or what your vision is in 5 years. I think the real important question is more like, what is your purpose? Like, what are you created for? In 5 years, whether you're having two kids or running a thriving practice or working at a hospital,
Mhm.
will you feel um, in your purpose? And Wayne Dyer says, "Don't die with the music still left in you."
Mhm.
Um, the question is the and really you're at such a pinnacle point in your life. The question is are you making the decisions right now to actually play your music? And your music might be, hey, Brandon, I want 7 kids and I'm not going to do any therapy in 7 years, like great. That whatever it is, there's no shoulds here, right?
Right. Right.
Um, but really it's a deeper question. Do you see that, Lauren?
Yeah. I do like because I think purpose is huge and I'm on social media and so a lot of times people will ask me and like I even had like a consultation call with somebody that like wanted to know my life story and who's going back to social work school and wanted to become a therapist and they just wanted to know like what I was doing and if I found it worth it. And even when this work gets really hard, I've always have known, and I said this earlier, like from a young age, that I always just felt this innate purpose to help people and
Okay.
to walk alongside them, like through their pain, and to just find a way to be supportive while helping people find their healing. And I see that happening in 5 years. I see that happening in 10 years, whether I'm a stay-at-home mom, whether I do run a practice, whether I have my podcast, whether I'm on social media. I don't think I will be far from my purpose because that is always very important to me is even if it means like being a stay-at-home mom and I don't have any clients for 2 months, my purpose will still be I'm here for my children, I'm here for my family, I'm providing in some way. That providing just looks different than what it did 5 years ago. And so I don't like, I think as long as my biggest goal isn't to strive away from my purpose or figure out what that constantly looks like in terms of to help and to heal, I think I will be on the right track. I just may not know what it looks like yet.
It seems like there's a pretty strong desire for children, though. Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of hearing that from you, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, so a lot of times I remember when we had our first kid, it's one of those things like you don't know what it's like until you go through it. And there's no way around that. Like I could tell you all day long, Lauren, and it's like yeah, but you have to have the baby. You have to
Yeah.
know what it's like to get up at night and not have any sleep and all of the fun stuff of being a new mom.
Yeah.
um and the reason I bring that up is if that's important to you and that's a goal and you want to work toward that,
Mhm.
um and I hear what you're saying about purpose. You want to just help people, whether it's at a hospital or a private practice or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you want to think about, okay, how can you still be a mom
Hmm.
and have a job? Like there's a difference between I'll give you an example. I had a job that I was helping people. I was getting paid nothing. The management was horrible. The structure of the program was horrible, and it was under a system that was horrible. Um, and so I honestly hated my job, and I loved my clients.
Hmm.
Um, is that a good place for me to feel fulfilled? In some regard, yes, because I
Hmm.
was working with clients,
Yeah.
but I just had to sacrifice so much of my truths and myself in order to have that job.
Hmm.
Um, so when we think about, okay, if having kids is important, what type of job or what type of life would be conducive to you feeling free, to
Hmm.
being able to create, to being able to help people, and still have enough time and energy and fortitude to be able to be a young mother, right?
Yeah. No, it's such a good question. And you're right, like I don't know what that looks like until it happens and until you're in it and you're sprawled and you're just taking it one day at a time. So if I think like preemptively, I definitely think as being a new mom, knowing that it'll probably be something really hard and I'm almost just gonna anticipate that it will be. And if it's not that hard for me, then great. My
Great.
outlook.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be really hard, right, I want to make sure I'm in a position in life where me and my husband are doing well, right, where we're not super stressed out, at least about my income. I do think balance is extremely important. Like, I don't think I'd ever just be like just a stay-at-home mom. Like, I
Right.
think I need to have a job, right, that once again gives purpose. So whether that be like continuing to have a podcast once I finally make mine on my own, whether that means still seeing like 5 to 10 private pay clients a week. If
Okay.
I'm working at the hospital and then I get pregnant and give birth, like going back to the hospital. I definitely, I've grown up around parents that made the sacrifices where they were both full-time parents. I didn't have a stay-at-home mom. Like they made it work. And so I know I can do the same. And so the balance will definitely be necessary
Hmm.
to be able to find because I know that I can't just be one thing.
Yeah. If your husband just made like $1 million a day,
Mhm.
would
I'd still
you
work.
you would?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. So now we're getting a little more clarity. Like you actually got specific there
Yeah.
with some things of like maybe I'll do 5 sessions a week.
Hmm.
Or if I'm working at a hospital. Though you're talking about two very different things,
I
by the way.
I am. I
All
am.
right.
I
Have you ever
am.
worked at a hospital?
No.
Oh, I
I've
have.
wanted to,
Yeah.
but I'm the type of person where like I need variety. Like I work at in an outpatient, right, while still seeing private practice clients, two very different settings.
Right.
But the variety helps me feel like I'm constantly learning, like I'm being challenged in different ways. And so I don't know what it would look like to work at a hospital, maybe part-time or something, but I do think like a variety of either one or two jobs might look nice in the future if that's possible.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm getting a little more clarity of
Okay.
like you're kind of setting this life up. You want your husband and you like supporting each other, but you're
Yeah.
not just a stay-at-home mom. Not that there's anything wrong with that,
Mm.
but you want a little more balance as a career with that as
Yeah.
well. By the way, my mom was a counselor at a school and
Hmm.
worked full time while
Yeah.
I grew up, and is awesome, and she's great, and she's a great example to me.
Mm.
Um, but okay, so I want to come back to something we were talking about last week, and I want to kind of tie all this together. I'm
Okay.
grilling you for a reason, Lauren.
Yeah.
Right? So
I'm taking it. Got
yeah,
it.
because really, what are we trying to get to? We're trying to get to you creating the life that you truly will feel at most alive, most purpose, most freedom, most abundance, right?
Yeah.
Like absolutely, why not, right?
Right.
And last week when we were talking, you mentioned I forget exactly the specifics of it, but I said, "Do you, like why don't you create that?" And it was like, I want to make like I forget like half a million a year
400,000. Yeah.
or 400,000 a year and
Mhm.
work like 1 day a week or whatever, right?
I couldn't work just one day, but yeah, where it's like, yeah, I'm making a lot of money and I obviously don't need to be working 40 hours a week. Like, yeah, anybody I think would want to do that to an extent.
Yeah, and so my question, and this is what's funny, is the way that you bring it up is like we're laughing and stuff, but like in all seriousness, why not? Like, how come? Like, why not you? And there is absolutely a pathway to create something like that where you really aren't putting in a ton of hours and yet you're generating some pretty good revenue and profit and tons of like freedom in your life and time. Now, as I say that, people are going to be listening and like, well, everybody wants that. So why doesn't everybody just do that? And I asked you about an example of somebody that you know of that's doing it, and you actually thought of one.
Hmm.
Remember?
Yeah.
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 Um, but the one you thought of did something different
Mhm.
than your average therapist.
Yeah.
And what did she do that's different?
Um, like, are you meaning like actually different or like, I
Well,
guess
so
kind of
your
like,
average let me paint the picture better here. Your average therapist is trading time for money. They're trying
right.
to get the next session. They're
Hmm.
building their private practice or they're working at a program. Um, and the therapist themselves is the product. Um,
Right.
you're the thing that is that whether it's the program or whether it's your private practice, you're the thing that is being sold. That sounds kind of bad, but you are.
No,
Like
that's
your
true.
time is what's being sold.
Hmm.
Um, and so this person that you were talking about is interesting because she's a therapist, right?
I think she's still licensed. Yeah, I don't know if she practices anymore.
That's interesting how you answered that.
Like, because
So
I'm like, I don't know if she has her license like updated, but I know, yeah, she started out as one, but I don't know if she's just like currently like seeing clients individually.
so think about what she is really like. She's actually not really a
She's a business
therapist,
person. Yeah.
total business person. So she got into therapy and figured out a problem
Hmm.
and found a solution, and then she packaged that solution up into a scalable product, and now she sells it again and again and again, and she
Yeah.
makes money selling that solution, whatever it is. I don't know exactly what she does, but she makes money selling that solution, um, completely scaled. So do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you look at your experience, Lauren, like and this is really, you got to ask yourself, is this something that you want to do? If you look at your experience, you have enough experience now in the mental health field
Hmm.
where you can look at the things going on, anything from your old experiences working at a, a clinic, um, to the inpatient that you're working at.
Hmm.
And there's some things as a therapist that would make your life better and easier. Can you think of anything?
No, actually, I'm like, as you were saying that, I was like, oh no, he's gonna ask me that question. What would make, I mean, I guess like what would make my life easier as a therapist? Having
You
people able to afford therapy more.
having people afford therapy more. Okay, this is a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
We can go with this one.
Mhm.
Okay, so that the problem is that people need therapy but they can't come because they can't afford it.
Or the insurance game is messed up right now, where insurance feels very tricky, it feels very messy, it doesn't feel um maybe even worthwhile sometimes, right? And so I think therapists often get caught in this like framework of for me to have a full caseload, it's probably better that I take insurance, but insurance can be like an uphill battle where I don't get paid for months, or I'm having to fight claims, or maybe I'm just not making enough money that feels sustainable. Or then you go into private practice and it's a little bit slower of building up your caseload, or it just feels a little bit more risky. And so, but in the end, it can still feel like, I don't know if this is sustainable.
So I don't know if you know this, but
Mm.
you just hit on um like $1 billion idea.
Yeah.
Um why can I say that?
Why can you say that?
Yeah.
Because everyone's thinking it.
Well, not only that, it's being done. Like,
Yeah.
so Headway is $1 billion business. Grow therapy. So
Mhm.
so they're different models, but you look at Headway or you look at Grow therapy, and they solve the very problem that you just identified. Now, some and Alma, they do it different, and some better than others, and they don't do it perfectly, but they
Mhm.
do it well enough that they are valued at like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Um, so isn't that interesting? Like
Mhm.
you just identified a pain point. Now, what's interesting, Lauren, is 10 years ago, there was nothing like Headway. There was nothing like Alma or
Right.
Growth Therapy. There's nothing like that.
Mhm.
Um, so somebody somewhere was like, wait, I'm going to solve that problem. Now, most people who have the problem, they stop at just complaining that there's a problem, not doing anything about it, and not
Mhm.
following through to change anything,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, now, here's the deal. Like, I'm gonna shoot straight with you, Lauren.
Okay.
If you want to make the money that you really want to make and scale up, there might be a part of you that's like, I'm not the business person that's going to create this product to like
Get out of
follow
my head,
through
'cause
and
that's what I'm
create it,
thinking.
market it, and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the reality is like, then maybe you really don't want that lifestyle very bad. Maybe it's more like, I want to work at the hospital. Like, I want to just have a good job, help
Mhm.
people. My husband makes good money. I make good money when I work.
Mhm.
And that's the life I want. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um,
Yeah. I think I'm caught in between because I think there's a part of me that likes the idea of being involved in business. I mean, if I'm being honest, there was at one point when I was like, you know what, maybe screw the therapy stuff. Maybe I do go into
I
business.
remember
Like,
when you
it
went
is
through
more,
that. Yes.
yeah. And
I
you're like,
remember
what are
that
you
phase.
thinking?
No, I was
Um,
like, hey, if you're doing wanting, go for it. Whatever.
for sure. But
Yeah.
it was just more of like, I know that I could do it. Like, I don't doubt that I could do it. I just don't know how to get there. And I don't think there's a straightforward answer on how to get there, right? But I just think because you're totally right. Like, yeah, I could do this and have that stability, but then I think there's still this part of me that wants to take risks and wants to be the business person, but I just feel lost on how to do that.
I feel
Like,
that
I
from
just
you.
don't see it.
Lauren, I feel that from you. I feel that like a lot of therapists just are the type that are just like business, like ick, like ugh, I don't want no.
Yeah.
And and you're not that way. You're
No, I want to do it. I just need someone to be like, okay, this is what you do. And I'll be like, I'll do it. Tell me what to do. I'll do it right now. Like, I don't have a problem. Like, this is gonna sound like, I don't want this to be an excuse. I just am not a creative person. And I feel like to be in business, sometimes you do have to think outside the box. You do have to be creative. And so I think like last week I was saying of like, that's why sometimes maybe in my head I'm like, well, maybe I need like a partner where I just don't feel like it's on me to have to pave this path when I just don't even know what the path looks like. But
mm-hmm.
I want it. Like if somebody tells me what to do, I will do it. There is
Right.
nothing wrong with me executing. But it's just like getting there that I'm just am like, I don't know, lights are on, but no one's home.
Yeah. It's but the problem is what you just kind of illustrated where a lot of people are stuck is
Yeah,
they're like, well, I either want a partner to come along and actually like do the follow through and give the pathway to make it happen.
right.
Um, it's interesting. I was love him or hate him. I was just listening to a podcast. Two people were just analyzing Elon Musk and like
Hmm.
stuff like how he's done what he's done and
Hmm.
how he's done it again and again. And it's interesting because one thing about it, like you look at SpaceX or Tesla or all these things, um, in the end, like he has an uncanny ability to be able to be okay with the buck stopping with him and to be okay with risk. And
Hmm.
so, like, he hasn't spent much of his life waiting for somebody else to come around to solve a problem.
Yep.
um he almost to a like we could psychoanalyze him for a long time, but to the
Hmm.
detriment of everything else in his life, he focuses on, I am passionate about this problem and I'm going to figure out that solution.
Hmm.
um and I'm not gonna like tell myself, one, I can't, or two, I need someone else to do it for me. um Now, what you're saying, like I've been you so much, Lauren, where it's like, oh, I got this idea or this thing, and my experience with partners, like I brought partners in that we created some things together, and it was good, but it was also really crappy and really problematic. And this is a whole other kind of topic we could get into of like when to partner and why. I'm not saying you shouldn't ever.
Hmm.
A
But
partner
I
could,
also need to take the initiative myself and
yeah,
figure.
like nobody's gonna want to partner with you when
Mhm.
you're like, well, like I want to like make a lot of money and stuff, but like
Right.
you just help me figure out the idea and then follow through and create the idea, and I'll just kind of like support you.
For
uh,
sure.
no thank you, like I'll uh,
I'll find somebody
like
who's taking the initiative.
yeah,
It's fair. It's fair. It's
like
just the logistics. Like who do you Google? Like, you know what I mean? Like if you have this idea, what do you do with it? Like who do you reach out to? It's like the small things of getting something started where I'm like, I literally have no idea.
it is so easy and so obvious, and
Ugh,
it's so available right
don't
now.
say
So,
that.
like, let me give you an example.
Mhm,
Um, I was just listening to this podcast about Elon Musk,
mhm,
and I listened to this woman named Cody Sanchez, and she's just an entrepreneur, business builder, thought leader type person.
yeah.
I love the guests she brings on who are entrepreneurs and leaders. And in that hour that I listened to her kind of breaking down the principles of Elon,
Mhm,
I just got like four principles of how to actually go and continue to build a business.
yeah.
Um, so and some there's like not good stuff content out there, but the cream rises to the top. Like
Mhm,
go check out Alex Hormozy, and you can get a master's degree, a doctorate degree just by listening to his content. Like you don't need to go to school, but he will outline for you exactly how to build a business. In fact, his platform is basically him walking you through exactly how he's built $1 billion business. Um, and so, and it applies to the little guy too. It's like, if I'm
mhm,
just starting out, what are the things I'm looking for? What do I need to do?
yeah.
Now, I got to warn you, as you get into things like when I listen to Cody Sanchez or Hermosi or
Mhm,
whoever I'm kind of like consuming at the time, business wise, and mentors and things, it can feel overwhelming because it's like, oh, I should be
ugh,
doing
yeah.
that, and I should be doing that, and I should be doing that. And so then I actually hired a business coach myself who
Mhm,
put everything all in a framework that I can just follow and I can
yeah.
just build it. Um, and I've gotten guidance about partnering. I've gotten so many
Mhm.
people wanting to partner with me lately, and I haven't, yeah, and I haven't totally,
Me.
right? Um, and so like, I guess my point is, Lauren, what you just said, like,
Out there.
I could give you
Mhm,
5 podcasts of these people to go listen to today, and
mhm.
that would be the first 5 steps for you to actually move forward in building an actual business.
But what's my business?
Well, and they would help you to source
Mhm,
that out, to push that out, to figure that out. Um, because like that's one of the first questions to answer. What problem am I actually solving? Right. And
and
what do I
maybe that's
actually
where
have
I'm
to
also
what do I
stuck
actually
too.
have to offer? So go ahead.
Yeah, and maybe that's where I'm also stuck too, is like I don't really know. Like I even had one idea of like wanting to make an app. And I'm like, how do I make an app? How do I do this? Like how can I, so it's like,
Here's a
oh,
little pointer for you.
okay.
Um, like one of the issues, and most people have this issue. I've had this issue most of my life.
Mm,
We don't want to admit this, but yet it's an issue. Um,
oh,
we're too focused on the money. So
mm,
what I mean by that is like, yeah, I want to be a business person because I want to live this free life and make $500,000 and hardly work at all, right?
fair. Yeah.
Well, like we all want that.
Yeah.
And but at the same time,
Mhm,
the two things are important. One, and it comes back to what I said to you earlier. One, you need to focus on the problem, not on the solution. So when you want to build an app, if you're building an app that you think is a solution to something,
mhm,
but you don't know whether or not anyone's going to use it or really cares, you need
mhm.
to first really figure out whether people want that app,
Yeah.
right? The
Well,
second thing, hang on. The second thing is what I was saying to you earlier. What is your purpose? When you build that app, are you building that app because you like have extra knowledge, wisdom, intuition that the world needs, and that app is helping you bring that forth? And
yeah.
you'll get to a point where it's like, look, I'm going to build this app whether I make $1 or $10 million because I freaking know that this is going to help people in this way, and
Mhm,
I can't die with my music left in me, so I'm going to go build this app.
yeah.
Do you see the difference in thinking?
For sure. And then like as you're saying that, I'm like thinking, I'm like, I know that there are things that I would like be like, I don't care if I make anything. Like I want it, but like I'm passionate about trauma. I'm passionate about substance use. Like the app that I was like thinking about. an app already came out with a version, like an updated version of it. And I was like, that's my freaking idea. How dare you? And it was great. It's awesome. I'm like, okay, well now I could make a cooler one, fine. But like so I hear you. Like and I completely agree. And I don't like if I'm gonna put something, if I'm gonna put my all into it, like I can accept failure and defeat and that it doesn't work, knowing that I can have 15 other different plans. I think it's really just where I struggle is just really honing in and brainstorming of like, what do I feel the most passionate about
Hmm.
that I feel like I could execute through, or at least
Yeah.
attempt, right? Not even
Yep.
like that success is out there. And I think like that's just where I go in my brain of like, I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about that. How does the world need help? Like, and I'm sure I just need to like also talk through it with people. Like I haven't really had many opportunities to be like, can I just pick your brain and you like bounce ideas off of each other? So I'm sure that there's room for that to
That's a
exist.
great idea. Hmm.
But yeah, like that's where I get stuck of like, I don't have any issue putting the effort and the time and the dedication to creating something. I just want to know what I'm creating. And I
Yeah.
just don't like, I haven't felt super duper called to one specific thing, but I have interest in a lot of different things.
But if you have interest in a lot of different things and so therefore you don't start on anything, then what's going to happen?
I won't get anything.
Yeah, and the truth is, and I hate to say this, is the thing that you start on will
Mhm.
probably not be the thing.
Oh,
You'll
for
probably
sure.
fail,
The
it'll
second.
probably struggle, but
Mhm.
you'll understand like, oh, this is what I learned, this is my tuition that I paid, and now this second iteration or third iteration is like dialed in, honed in, and the thing
Right.
that help therapists, help people struggling with addiction, help people heal from their trauma, whatever that tool is, whatever that thing is that you want to create. Like it could be anything from a new therapeutic modality
Hmm.
to the perfect little app on the phone that just takes everyone's cravings away. If you can create that, or the magic pill that you just take, but
Yeah, right.
but like it can be anything,
Yeah.
but you're probably not gonna get there by not taking a shot. And like I've taken a lot of shots in my life, Lauren. I've failed a lot. Some things have really worked and some things have not.
Yeah.
I'm continuing. I have more shots that I'm taking right now. Um, but I'm doing it, I think, a little bit wiser this time. And I've hopefully learned a lot through my years because I'm an old man now. Um,
So old. Yeah. Okay.
but, but, uh, but the point is like I know so many people. I'm business ideas guy, right? Like people
Mhm.
love I love business ideas. So I hear them from people all the time like, "Oh, hey, I got one and hey, you should do this." And I'm I'm writing this book or I'm starting this business and I hear it all the time and then rarely does anybody like I know follow through. Um I've had one really good friend. He comes to me and he's like, "Hey, I got this idea." And I was like, that's a good idea, but like, I might tweak it like this or that or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, that's great. He's from Hawaii, so I speak with a kind of an accent when I
An
talk to him.
emphasis on
Yeah, yeah. He speaks
life.
pigeon. He speaks pigeon.
There you
So I try my pigeon accent, but it doesn't work very well.
go.
Um, but like he's like, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And he goes, he sells the farm. He just
Oh,
he sells his home. He takes all the equity out of it, everything, and he puts it into this idea. And
I've heard
um,
this before. I
yeah,
think on like a podcast from you did like 2 years ago, maybe.
yeah. And he's
It
like,
doesn't even fail.
he's no, he got
Oh.
lucky. Well, I shouldn't say lucky because he knew he was gonna succeed. Like, so he failed a ton along the way
Hmm.
as he was building out Mobetta's, his
I
restaurant.
was just gonna say it's
Yeah.
my potatoes.
Yeah. And so
Love that.
it's amazing that I was sitting in a restaurant with
Hmm.
chemo in Hawaii and now Lauren knows what
Hmm.
Mobetta's is. Like
Oh, heck yeah.
it went from that just an idea in his head to
Hmm.
like everybody around here knows exactly what that is and
Well,
it's
better chicken
it's
bombs
uh
fast.
it's spreading, it's scaling up. He's not in there cooking
So
steak every
good.
day, right? Um But what the difference between him and most those people with the business ideas,
He did
um,
it.
yeah, like he actually sold the farm, and it's like this is on my mind because I was listening to this about Elon today. Dude, that dude just like he was guns a blazing. He was just like all in. Like, yeah, okay, like let's figure out how to go to Mars. We're gonna do that. Like,
Hmm.
and most people are like, you're effing nuts.
Yeah.
Like, this is electric cars weren't even a thing. Like, this is nuts. And now it's like this massive, massive business. Now, you don't need to create a massive, massive business for the goal that you have, Lauren.
Yeah.
If you want to make 500,000 a year and work a little bit every week, you absolutely can create some type of product
Hmm.
um, that can really help the world and set you up for that life.
Yeah.
Um, but you're going to have to. Nobody's going to do it for you.
Hmm.
If they did it for you, then they would want the payout for it.
Yep.
Um, and and also that place of like I don't know what I'm going to do is it's just like our clients, Lauren. Think about it like, well, I want change, I want change, I want change, I want this difference in my life.
Hmm.
I just don't want to go through the pain that it's going to take to create that change.
Yeah.
So then I'll find excuses. I'll find like little nooks and crannies to hide
Hmm.
of like, well, I don't know what I really want to do. Well, that's a good place to just stay. Like instead of like really like really searching, really figuring it out, asking feedback from other people, like just going through processes to figure it out. It's like, yeah, but I don't really know what I want to do. Well, then stay safe there.
Hmm.
But you'll stay safe there in 5 years from now. And the thing about it is, Lauren, you've taken risks. Like you're a badass. And like you moved out to Utah, you became a therapist amongst all these crazy Mormons. Like like you do act, you do, right?
Hmm.
And you have courage and right? And it's interesting cuz people like us
Hmm.
um like I still get stuck in my little nooks and crannies. It's like yeah, that's such a good one right there. I want to do that except for I'm tired and I don't want to, and I. So there's
Hmm.
always a reason. Um, so what's it going to take? What's it going to take to to move you forward? Right. That is the real question.
I think it's really thinking about if I have all these things that I want to do, which one do I put my effort towards and just try? And then
Focus.
knowing that along the way, if it doesn't work out, like I'll find something, like something will direct me to, oh, this isn't working out, but maybe this is a good idea instead. And so I think just opening the door is probably a good place to start.
I love it.
Which door? I'll figure that out
Yeah.
after some introspection, but opening the door and just being like, okay.
I want to warn you. So this is why like opening the door is
Mm.
something that a lot of people will never do. And yet it's not even the hardest part. The
Oh,
hardest the hardest
sure.
part is the next part
Mhm.
when it's like, okay, now I'm gonna put some money on the line, some time on the line. Look at your face, some
Yeah.
time on the line,
No one
and
can see it,
like
but my eyes just like,
I
whoa.
don't know if I'm gonna fail or not, and if I do,
Mhm.
people will see it. They'll know that this either worked or it didn't,
Yeah,
and and at first you will fail because you're refining your product and figuring it
for
out.
sure.
And so when you do fail, it's instead of being like, oh, see, I'm out, I can't, you stay there for a second, you keep refining, you keep
Yeah.
moving into it. And so but let's back up a little bit. I think we really got somewhere good today because what you said is yes, is let's just look at something. You got all these things.
Yep.
Look at something. I've
Mhm.
heard this from you, Lauren, from me. Like,
I
hey,
know, I
Brannon,
know, I
freaking
know.
focus.
Roles are reversed.
All right. Um, find your something,
Mm.
figure out a plan to actually execute it, and
Mhm.
take some steps forward with it.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
yeah, how you feeling?
Good.
Okay, you seem a
Semi-empowered and
little
stressed.
yeah. Seems like you're stressed out a little bit. So
Yeah. But
yeah.
that's okay. Stress is good. I can
Yeah.
be in the discomfort of
Yeah.
opening the door.
And I really do want to emphasize, and I know we got to wrap this up.
Hmm.
Um, like you really got to be honest with yourself about what you're called to do, because like
Yeah.
if really like you're supposed to be the most amazing social worker on the kidney unit in Boston or something, there
Hmm.
is no shame in that. And if you feel alive and you're helping people, and yeah, maybe you're not making $1 million a year, but
Hmm.
like if that's your place, then move toward that.
Yeah.
But if that's not your place and it's like, no, I'm not supposed to be on the hospital unit, I feel this entrepreneurial call to me, I
Hmm.
want to create something like creation,
Hmm.
then you got to listen to that too.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no should, but you got to be honest with yourself and not make your decisions from a place of fear of like, well, I don't want to fail,
Yeah.
or this is what's safe. So, um, Lauren, you're awesome. Thanks for
Thanks for
talking to
having
me
me on.
today. Um, I don't know if you have a session at 4, so I got to get you out of here. But
I don't. I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah. Um, so you guys, I really appreciate Lauren talking through this. I hope that as you're listening to us talk, that you're thinking about yourself. And if you have that feeling, just that little bit of like, I just feel a little dead inside, or I'm depressed at the job that I go to or the practice that I run day in and day out, those feelings are actually trying to communicate something to you, that you're not in alignment with what you're supposed to create. And so instead of living in that suffering, face the pain of creating some change to actually get in alignment and create what you want in your life.